next in the timeline, 9:31 a.m. What are we looking at here?
That's a the screen or of a math sheet homework that the shooter had.
Okay. So this was sent to whom?
To Jennifer.
To Jennifer Crumbley?
Yes.
Okay. Exhibit 128. What's this?
That's the full-size image of it, of the math sheet.
So did you come to learn there were actually two different math worksheets?
Yes.
Okay. And this would be referred to as the altered one?
Correct, it is.
So this was sent to Jennifer Crumbley at 9:31?
Correct.
All right. That's Exhibit 128. Exhibit 129 is what?
That appears to be an email of the math worksheet.
Here's Exhibit 30. This is what contained in the email?
Yes, that's the original.
So this was emailed to Jennifer Crumbley at 9:32 a.m. Is that right?
Correct.
And the scratched out version was texted to her at 9:31 a.m.
Correct.
Okay. Now this is Exhibit 131. This is at 9:33 a.m. So this is 1 minute after that original drawing was sent to Jennifer Crumbley. What are we looking at?
Jennifer telling James, call now, emergency.
Okay.
And then she says again, emergency, 2 minutes later.
And then at 9:38 a.m., what does she send?
She sends the two pictures of the math worksheet.
Okay. So the one that's scratched out in the original, the
Correct.
both that were sent to Jennifer?
Yes.
Okay. And James's response at 9:44 a.m.
James responds with, my God, WTF.
And then what?
Vet not here yet. It's McElmurray for Kira's horse, still waiting on vet.
Okay. So we saw earlier that his location indicated that he was at the barn by at least 9:04 a.m.?
Correct.
Okay. And this was at 9:45 a.m.?
Correct.
And what did Jennifer write?
Responds back with, he said he was distraught about last night.
James?
James says, we talked about it this morning. Then he asked, you talked to him, question mark.
And what did Jennifer respond?
Responds with, can you call?
That's 9:57 a.m.?
Correct.
Okay. And what does Jennifer write at 10:04 a.m.?
She says, heading to a school, I'm very concerned.
And that's at 10:04 a.m. on November the 30th, 2021.
Correct.
Now, did you learn that they both arrived at Oxford High School?
Yes, they did.
And did you learn approximately the time they arrived there?
Yes.
What time is that?
It's about 10:30, 10:36.
This is Exhibit 132. 9:36 a.m. You see James' location history that's still at the barn?
Correct.
Okay. And 1:34, this is the same surveillance footage that we saw Jennifer Crumbley arriving at work at 9:04 a.m. This is at 10:06 a.m.?
Correct.
Okay. And this is consistent with what we just saw in these Facebook messages when she wrote heading to school?
Correct.
Okay. This is Exhibit 126. What do we see here?
It's a call to the school, to the counselor from Jennifer.
Okay, so she left at 10:04, then at 10:07, she called the same counselor who called her?
Correct.
And Exhibit 131, headed to a school at 10:12. So that
Correct.
would be the timeline for that period of the day.
Correct.
So do we have an idea of, you said about after 10:30 a.m. that meeting occurred?
Correct.
Okay, and so is this what you base that opinion on?
Correct, yes.
All right, so what do we see here at Exhibit 135?
Well, you see at the top of it is the horse barn, and then he takes a path down Gardner Road and then heads to the high school.
Okay. So if I'm correct, what we just saw, Jennifer arrived at work. Well, first of all, the shooter was dropped off at school at 7:46 a.m. by his father.
Correct.
He went to the horse barn at 9:04.
Correct.
Jennifer arrived at her place of employment
Sir.
9:24.
Correct.
Then we saw the messages sent from her counselor, and the phone call from her counselor, and the messages thereafter with those two drawings.
Yes, sir.
And then the Facebook messages at directly after to James with those two drawings.
Correct.
Okay. And this shows when he left the horse barn and about the time he arrived at Oxford High School.
Correct.
And Did he stop by his house before he went to the meeting?
No,
Jennifer stopped by the house before she went to the meeting.
no, sir.
Did they go in one car or separate cars?
They were in separate cars.
Okay. Now, we had discussed this particular aspect of the case in a separate hearing some time ago, and there was an original belief that they arrived in one car.
Correct.
Okay, you came to learn that they arrived in two different cars.
That's correct.
Objection or leading?
Again, it's just foundation, sir. Tell me what happened.
When I originally was watching the video, the system that the school has, it's not continually recording. It only records when there's enough movement in the frame. So if they're too far of a distance away, it's not going to record, even though there might be somebody walking across the parking lot. The sensors don't pick it up. And it didn't, once I saw the second car, what I thought was the first car, pull into a parking spot, the next thing I saw was just two people standing in front of it. So I assumed that they'd come out of that car together.
So, keeping with our timeline here, 10:29 a.m. We have a call log of, what do we see here?
James calling Jennifer.
Okay, and how long was that phone call?
7 minutes and 16 seconds.
And based upon what you found on the video and the messages and data locations, this is before they arrived at school?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you were able to pull the surveillance footage of both vehicles arriving and their movements while inside the Oxford High School, at least that were contained on surveillance video, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so this is Exhibit 137. I'm going to play this. And just so we know, at the bottom of the screen here, we have a description of the camera, what it's looking at with the time.
Correct.
So this is 10:36 a.m. on November the 30th, 2021.
Correct.
Okay. And this, what are we looking at right here?
That's the parking lot of the school on the north side of the school.
Sir, whatever you're able to, give us some context of what we're looking at.
I come to find out that that's Jennifer pulling up right there in that car.
Okay.
And then there's James and Jennifer walking up to the school.
Right here?
Yes.
Sure, this is James and Jennifer Crumbley in the Oxford High School that day?
Yes,
Okay.
that's in the office there, and they're being directed around to counseling.
At the bottom of the screen there, it's 10:39 a.m.
Correct.